All right, we are now a few seconds in. So, for the people that will watch, are watching, and will watch later, we have a special guest. As a very special guest. I know I've been texting y'all a lot about this. All right,
No, for
I've been
real.
texting y'all a lot about this.
No, for
So
real.
y'all and other people. So if I don't see them views and I don't see y'all following their page, I'm on that. I'm on that. I'm on that. It's no, it's no way to hide it. So
And you know he will.
please, please. Oh yeah, no, I'm not a control freak, but just welcome to the Take for Take, podcast pages to power ups. Thank you for showing up and gracing with your presence and time. So how are you doing tonight?
I'm doing good, doing good. Just getting back from the studio and everything. But I appreciate you guys having me on. This is gonna be fun.
All right. All right.
So we appreciate you joining us.
Right. The grind
Yeah,
don't stop.
thank you, guys.
It's a Tuesday. It's a real Tuesday grind today.
Real Tuesday grind. Okay. Okay. So we were talking earlier, and I was telling you that, I stumbled over some of the projects you've done, and I didn't realize how big of the projects, how many projects you've done. And this usually spotlight, especially for a small podcast as well, we want to put the spotlight on the people that is really, I'm not going to say people are not doing the work, but the people that really get into the weeds of it, like I'm a technician by trade. Everybody likes the computer and it looks dandy, but nobody talks about us programming and doing the stuff in between. That's the things that matter, right? So, outside just looking at the resume, what started this? What made this so passionate for you? Why you decided to pursue it?
It's a little bit of a classic story. Like, I've always been really into drawing. My family knows this all too well. My mom was always a proponent of me drawing and everything, like, since I was a kid. The classic story, drawing on walls since I was a kid kind of thing.
Wow.
But my family is very in a lot of cases goal oriented. So, like, even growing up, I got talked to a lot about, you should think about higher education, whatever form that's in. You should always think about what your future looks like, that kind of a thing. And it felt natural for me to think about, well, as much as I love drawing, I feel very strongly about doing this for my career for the rest of my life. And I ended up going to school for it. I went to the Academy of Art in San Francisco to study animation in particular, but it
Very
was
nice.
at school that I kind of realized the nuances of animation production. I always knew that I wanted to direct and show run and all of that stuff eventually, but where do you start? Nobody really ever tells you that kind of thing about where you jump in. And with animation, you can start as a cleanup artist or an in-betweener or a lower level, entry level animator. But for me, animation was a little too slow. It is a lot of dedicated time and concentration, and any and every person that I've ever met or am going to end up meeting has dedicated their focus to being able to animate. I can't keep up with that. But I love building story and really pushing character acting and action and all of this extra stuff. So that's how I ended up finding storyboarding. And after school, I ended up working for my college. And through that, one of the stories I love telling is I was working a end of year art show for the school. All the students put on their work and everything, and studios from all around the country and around the world come and see what our students are producing and give portfolio reviews, all that stuff. But I was working the event, and by accident, because someone dropped out. So I was asked by the head of my department, "Hey, can you like step in for the day?"
Hey,
I was like, "Okay,
that's
yeah.
what I'm
I
talking about.
I have a Saturday open, sure."
In that
so
opportunity.
so
Right.
I end up right. So I end up going. I'm working the event, and at a certain point when lunch is about to start, the head of my department comes over to me and she's like, "Hey Jess, these are two studio executives from Marvel Animation. Can you show them where lunch is going to be held?" And I was like, "Yeah, okay." I'm not the focus of the event. So I'm like, "Yeah, it's my job, sure." So I got to just be casual, low pressure and stuff, talk to them about the event, how they've been doing and everything, and showed them where it was. But lunch was postponed because coincidentally because the kitchen caught on fire.
Wait.
The twist
I wasn't expecting that.
and no one knew. I was just told, "Hey, you have to stall for like a little bit."
Oh my gosh.
We don't want them to know we're disorganized, so just tell them it's just going to take a few more minutes. So I was like, okay. So I take these two on a tour, introduce myself, I tell them a little bit about me and everything, that this is why I know this about our students and stuff. And it was Ken Ito and Howard Schwartz. Ken Ito, who was the head of the studio officially, and Howard Schwartz was one of our executive producers. And they both really liked talking to me and everything. They're like, "Okay, cool, great. Well, we'll see you around the show, I guess." I'm like, "Yeah, see you around the show." Lunch is finally served. I sit down with my coworkers and they see me across the lunch tables and are like, "Hey, Jess, do you mind if I come sit with you?" I'm like, "Sure, come hang out." Get to talking for a little bit more. But again, it's just a parting where we're like, you guys have to get to portfolio reviews. I'll see you guys later. Classic, right? It's towards the end of the event, and the head of my department, who was then the head of the animation department, Beth Souza, she runs up to me and is like, "Jess, you have your iPad?" I was like, "Yes." She's like, "Okay, cool, go get it and then come back." I was like, "Okay." I come back with my iPad. She grabs me by the hand and sits me in a chair in a room. She's like, "Stay here." It's like, okay. And then
No
5
pressure.
minutes later, she walks in with Ken and Howard, and she's like, "Okay, Jess, I want you to talk to these." Ken is like, "Haven't we been talking to you already?" I was like, "Yeah." They're like, "So you draw, right? Can we see your stuff?" I'm like, "Yeah." So I show them some of my work. Coincidentally, I'd gotten done with like a Spider-Man drawing, and I have my boards on my iPad and all that stuff. And then they said, "Do you want a tour of Marvel Animation?" And I was like, "I can make it down to LA. Of course. I can go down."
Right.
Long story short, I go on a tour. I get to meet some of the directors of animation that are there, that are currently working on like Hulk and the Ages of Smash and Ultimate Spider-Man while they're doing stuff, finishing up Spectacular Spider-Man, and getting through the first 2 seasons of Avengers Assemble. I end up meeting them. I get asked, "Hey, we actually need a freelance designer. Can you do characters?" I'm like, "Of course I can." You say yes to opportunity. Of course I can. I do well enough on character designs, and I let them know that I'm interested in becoming a storyboard revisionist. That's the entry level for storyboarding. They're like, "Okay, cool. We'll send you a test." I hit the test and come in, and they give me notes. And I'm like, "Well, it's the classic, we're going to give you notes. This was okay, but you could fix this here, blah, blah, blah." But I asked, "Can I do this again? Can I do this one more time with the notes that you're giving me?" And they were like, "Sure. Okay. Yeah, we'll give you an extra week if you can hit these notes and stuff like that." I hit the notes, turn in a new board test twice the size of my last one, hit all of their notes, turn it in. It's a couple days later that I get a call, and they said, I say it's a day later. My husband says it's a couple days later because he was present. You guys pick the timing. But they call me, and it's Jeff Allen, who is supervising Avengers Assemble. And he says, "Hey, Jess, do you want to be a storyboard revisionist?" And I said, yes. Not even think about it. Yes. And that's me starting at Marvel Animation.
Wow.
That's what I'm talking about. I see, took an opportunity and ran with it.
Right.
Yeah.
I've got a fire in the kitchen. Did I?
I'm
I
saying.
know. The
Did
absolute
everything.
like God grace, the absolute coincidence of this happening, you know? Yeah.
I'm about to say, do we?
Say it all started with that kitchen fire. It's crazy.
I'm about to say, do we thank God for also the kitchen fire?
Right? Like,
Yeah.
I did, honestly, I did several times. Like,
She's like, I'm gonna keep it real with you. Nah, that's what we needed that. Okay. So wow. So how was I guess they
Uh,
brought you on board, of course you said yes. How was the adjustment? Right? Because it seems like it may have went too fast, not too fast, but it went really quick. I mean, this is a long day and a long few days. So the anticipation I know is probably crazy when especially when you did it twice and asked to do it again. But how was it when you like first got there? Like what was the feelings? What were you expecting? Was it what you expected?
it was a little bit more than what I had expected, but I didn't have expectations yet for how our production would be run professionally.
Mhm.
We got some chances to be able to experiment with that with school, but getting on the job experience is huge. It was a really trial by fire for me, but I still thankfully I have enough, and most artists have trouble doing this, but small brag, right? Is that I have a lot of really good and had a lot of really good talent for it and a lot
Mhm.
of gumption for it. Like am a proactive person when it comes to trying to further my career or seeing opportunities or things like that. At least I try to be. And so, especially starting out, was really gung ho for it. So when obstacles came up, like they usually do in any job that you're starting out in, uh, I was doing my best to try to tackle those head on. Like I saw it always as a new opportunity to further myself, to better myself, even when I had some failures, like, and everybody has to build this skill is you got to meet your deadlines. You have to meet your
Oh
deadlines.
yeah.
But I had hiccups early in my career where I didn't, where I had complications, where I took on too much work elsewhere and just couldn't meet the expectations, all
Oh,
kinds of stuff like that. And those are still learning opportunities. You don't take those and then stay in your lane or take the failure and feel a failure. You take the failure and then you rise above it. That's what I
Mhm.
had to do in order to get where I am.
I love that.
yeah, I'm
I
about to
have a
say.
question. Quick question. Like, while we're still in the origin story arc, a little bit, like, because you mentioned something that I thought was really cool. Like, you said you had the opportunity, and you just so happened to finish the Spider-Man drawing at the time. So, like,
Yeah.
how active were you in just like drawing for passion or just drawing in general and creating in general? And then did your workload change, or like did you find yourself finding it harder to draw for inspiration or harder to create for inspiration as you move more towards a professional?
Admittedly, it does. It gets a little bit harder to kind of feel the inspiration for yourself because you're that's something that not everybody prepares you for as an artist, is
Mhm.
that your hobby becomes your job. Having a hobby is supposed to be your stress reliever, but a job gives you stress, which means
For
your
sure.
stress reliever is now stressful. And that's hard to do when you want relief. When you come home, you just want to relax and things like that. It does get hard to draw for yourself because you don't want to do something that's stressful. Um, and it like admittedly I still struggle with it, but I've gotten better at being able to I want to draw for myself. I want to do something that's just fun. I don't have to think about it. I don't have to worry about it. I'm just doing it just cuz. But yeah, early on early in my career, I tried drawing all the time cuz of
Mhm.
course you do it to kind of get noticed, but I was part of like the early days of DeviantArt when that platform first started and all
Oh
that
yeah.
stuff,
hey,
old
deviant
school.
art.
Yeah,
Yep.
yeah, old days. So like early DeviantArt where I'm putting up fan art of all kinds of stuff. I'm huge and always have been huge into comics and I love anime and all kinds of stuff. So I was drawing a ton of that for myself, for building up my portfolio. And in a lot of ways, I'm glad that newer artists are getting the not the spectrum, the space to realize that your fan art can still be work. Like it's still good work that you do because you drew it well. It's supposed to show off your skills, but it's also supposed to show off your passion. You can't just be doing, you know, paintings of I bring up I don't know why I bring up the Sistine Chapel often, but you can't be doing like random paintings of the Sistine Chapel and then off to the side you're trying to do all your fan art for Inuyasha and for Kids Next Door, whatever you're passionate about. You shouldn't always have to separate those for the fear of somebody who doesn't understand how art works will think it childish. Because in this industry, there is more often everybody that realizes the skills they should be looking for, not just the content that you're giving them.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay.
That makes a lot of sense.
No, I'm gonna say that does make a lot of sense. I mean, you said deviant art. That took me out for a second.
That's a throwback.
That's
it.
I'll hold you. That's
I remember being young, seeing all the good art and fan art and stuff on DeviantArt.
Yeah,
a lot of Dragon Ball Z searches. Figure out what the next Super Saiyan is gonna look like,
Oh, right.
Oh my gosh, the speculative
all the Super Saiyan 5s.
Yes.
All the hair just keeps on getting bigger.
Just keeps getting bigger, keeps getting taller. The comics of it like sticking out over the world. Like,
Okay.
Seeing what Super Saiyan Nappa would be like.
Right.
Oh my gosh.
They just had that man have a Super Saiyan beard.
They absolutely ran with any Saiyan that had a mustache instead, and then we actually got Invincible. You know what I mean? Like, the inspiration is clear. Yeah.
That's true. Speaking of that is the one that shocked me. When that was the one when I was looking through this, and I'm like, all right, Marvel DC, I'm like, Invincible. Hold on.
Yeah.
Hold on.
When I saw that one on the list, I was like, wait.
Yeah, so
like she was doing Invincible work. Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
We had high praise for Invincible this season, the last couple of seasons. Yeah,
I know.
Elite.
They're really super pulling it out. Like the scale of everything, especially how close they're keeping it to the comic, but Kirkman is still taking his liberties with what he wants to explore is great. It really is.
I've been thoroughly enjoying that show.
Yeah.
So let me ask you this, because when I think about all the projects that you've done, right? They are all different scales. Like even me seeing the Marvel Spider-Man Disney and remembering that, right? Then going to see Invincible, then seeing Justice League Crisis. It's like I'm like, wait, like, so those are totally for two different audiences, even though probably now it's probably one and the same. How was it doing the shift to something more kid-friendly than to like a darker, more serious tone?
It's a lot in the comedic relief that you do, especially for this kind of like an action show, because it's really easy, especially like, for example, Invincible. One of my favorite sequences that I got to do was the montage of the Invincible War. It was several of the deaths that happened for different Invincibles, and those got brutal. You know,
they did.
You got to you got to pull people apart and everything like that. One of my favorites was just in a single shot was having the Viltrumite Invincible, the mustache Invincible, where Tech Jacket flies back to Earth. And it's just him with all his fingers broken, just blood everywhere. And that's intense.
Brutalized
right?
in space.
Yeah. And you just showed up to that shot. Like it was, the intensity happened and the Tech Jacket left. But having shots like those, and then like Marvel's Spider-Man, where Peter's supposed to be making jokes and then accidentally smacks into a pole as he's swinging, right? You know, like having cute moments like those, or like, it was really fun, and I felt really blessed that my director Tim Eldred, he gave me one of the ending sequences for Marvel Spider-Man where MJ finally kisses Peter, and I was like, yes, yes, we did it.
Love that.
But that's such a light, cute kind of a moment, even amidst intensity and action, because spoilers for anybody that hasn't seen the show yet, Venom's revealed, and in the midst of everybody screaming, MJ gives a last kiss to Peter. She's like, go get him, Tiger, and then she runs out, and you're like, yes, let's go. But having something lighter hearted like that versus the intensity of like Mark next to Eve in the hospital as she's been put there by Conquest, right? Those two different scenes still require a lot of insight into the characters, but the difference between the two is how high or how low you're trying to push them. In a lot of like kids animation, you want to push things a little bit higher because it's supposed to be inspirational. It gives kids energy and excitement for the good things that they want to do, like out in the world, kind of a thing. That's what superheroes are meant for. There are new myths to teach us how to be a better person, how to stand up for each other between right and wrong, a lot of that stuff, or at least they're
How to
helping
inspire.
each other. Yeah. So with the story for Invincible, as inspirational as that definitely is, there is a lot of weight given to these characters and the reality that's reinstilled of this is what it takes to be heroic. And you have that a little bit less in Marvel Spider-Man because the inspiration and the excitement is kicked a little bit higher.
Okay. Okay. So I guess my next question is, which one do you prefer? And again, that's
That's a very good question.
uh-huh.
I am usually one that really loves being able to do drama. I love doing acting passes of like a mild joke with friends is that I love to draw characters crying all the time. Like,
Right.
and I love giving them like big Miyazaki Ghibli tears, like viscous down the face, right? But like I love to hit a dramatic moment for a character that you've really loved watching win, or you've really loved watching succeed through obstacles and stuff like that. I like the feeling of either being part of how hard they have to work to earn it, or the realization of what it means for them to go to try. It's a really powerful moment to have, and I especially love being part of that because I love sitting in it. One of my all-time favorite episodes, shows that I got to be part of, was Black Panther's Quest. Absolutely loved being part of that show. And one of the moments I got to do, again, another spoiler if anybody hasn't seen it, was White Wolf's death. The way that we had that written out originally, it had a little bit more extra meat to it, and during the process you always have stuff cut and like edited down for time and all that, but I really put a lot into how meaningful this was. It didn't matter that they didn't have the same parents officially. uh T'Challa loved Hunter as his brother, 100% was his brother, and Hunter sacrificing himself to give T'Challa time to save Wakanda, and then T'Challa realizing what happens. I really wanted that moment milked for the absolute heartbreak he goes through, the really meaningful heartbreak he goes through when he sees that his brothers died. That I really loved Hunter as a character because I love that snarky, quippy, like, oh, you think you're good at this? Like, like, because that kind of character is always checking the hero of being like, okay, morals, let me talk to you about what we got to get done, you know? Like, let's be real. So getting to be part of that character, setting aside the snark and the quippiness to be like, my brother knows the job he needs to get done, and it is me that's going to give him this time just because I can. You know, that's a huge moment to be part of.
Well, I'm gonna say because if I'm not mistaken, the Black Panther quest that was you all got an award for that, right? Or were nominated,
Yeah,
right?
for NAACP awards.
Okay. So with that being said, one, I definitely would say that kind of stood out, right? Like when I was watching and I go back, ironically, I'm just gonna go ahead and out myself. When we had to go upstairs and go to sleep, we had like the dog come down there and stuff like that. We just put it on. So I've been watching it just kind of all the time. And I realized that the tone was a lot different
Yes.
when it got to that part. You know, it was a lot more more serious. Like it was a little less lighthearted and a lot, especially that situation at that time, right? So what one when you're making these decisions and also being the person behind it, how many people is it just it's like just this is my vision and everybody falls in line, or is it like we work as one section here, or this is what I like to see? How does that operate?
Well, we on our side, once writing and scripting is finished or finished to a point, because you can run into the script isn't technically locked, but this is the closest draft we have, so that way story can get started.
Mhm.
When we get our assignments, we get them from our episodic director, who gets the lowdown from the supervising director. The episodic director is essentially like the lieutenants who are dictating tighter instructions about what we need to get done. But there is a certain amount of freedom that they still give you, as much as they're clear on this is the kind of vision, this is the kind of tone I'd like you to aim for. So here are your limitations. However, with those, what are you imagining? And as the storyboard artist, even when you have limitations, it's almost as if you're even more creative. You are a professional problem solver of like, for example, during that sequence, I was told, hey, water is slowly rising and gouts of water are spouting up everywhere in this courtyard that several people are fighting. And there's lots of fighting happening. So there's going to be a crowd of different types of soldiers, sound effects, all that kind of stuff. I had to think around, if I'm setting this stuff up for animation, how many characters do I need to have on scene? I have to track all this water that's everywhere because that's all effects drawn, all kinds of different stuff. But the emotional resonance of the scene still needs to carry. That has to be important. So, with all of these limitations, how am I going to succeed about that? We go through iterations. We have a thumbnail, a rough process, and then with cleans, and we'll get notes in different spots. And through thumbnails and roughs, it's like our first initial passes. So kind of messy drawings, not always 100% clear, but our director knows what they're looking at because they're also a professional artist. So they're looking at this and being like, okay, cool. I see how you've set this shot up here. Can you actually shift the camera just a little bit? Can you remove these characters? Can you do this? Da da da. And sometimes those are easy notes. Sometimes those are harder notes. But by the time you get to the cleans process where you tie down all your drawings, you get all your expressions in, any nuances to acting, smaller things like those, your effects, if they need to be cycled, things like that, which means like repeated drawings over and over again. By the time you get there, you're left to the nuance you want to put in. Your director has given you enough direction. They've given you input on their on the roughs as you've gotten to this point. So by the time you turn your stuff in, As the storyboard artist, you're done. Because by the end of the cleans process, you have to move on to the next episode. Because that's the job. And keeping in mind, especially as you go through cleans, you're setting it up for the next person in the pipeline. Story is so early in the animation process that you have to be very mindful of the drawings and information you're sending to the next person, which are the revisionists, who are doing any last notes that you just can't take care of anymore because you're on to something else. Then from there, they send it to production. Animators are going through it. Then there's retakes. Then there's editing. Then there's sound design, music design. All of that stuff comes after us, which we have to set up for.
Wow.
Talk about meeting them deadlines.
Exactly. If you don't meet it, you are holding up everyone else. Which the business mind, I recommend every artist trying to get a business acumen and business mind for it, even just in general, if not for show business, because there's really no business like it. You need to realize not just you not meeting your deadlines and your immediate boss is upset, you're making someone else's job harder and with less time because you didn't get it in fast enough. If you have to ask for time, that's also still just as responsible. Like I have had very, very kind directors and producers and bosses on the shows that I've had where it is my responsibility to let them know, hey, the notes that you guys have given me, they're a little bit difficult to try to complete on time. This is a lot to put in extra, this, that, and the other. And then they'll let me know, all right, Jess, well, we feel the deadline is more important. So go ahead and save those notes for the revisionists. Set them up as best you can, but move on to everything else because you need to meet this date. We can't move it. Or I've been very lucky, very fortunate to get the thank you for letting us know, Jess. We're going to go ahead and try to find you the extra time in the schedule so that way you can finish this because we want you to finish it. Like that's just as responsible as making sure to meet your deadlines in the first place because now everybody knows what's going on. Yeah. If you miss a deadline, turn your stuff in, 3 days to a week late. Don't tell anybody. Everybody's panicking. People are spending money trying to figure out how to solve this problem that you've shown up with that even if you turn your stuff in and it's 100% completed, it doesn't solve the problem of you wasted people's time as they were freaking out.
Wow. Yeah, that's yeah, see,
it's creates an unnecessary sense of anxiety.
Yes,
I know the anxiety's got a terrible effect.
It's a stone in your chest as you're trying to get onto the next episode, and you're like, I just gotta get everybody's just stressed out. Just talk to your bosses, let them know what's going on. They'll give you new marching orders for it, which is their job to do,
Yeah, gotcha. That makes sense. I
had a quick question real quick. My fault. I know we're about to end, my bad, but I wanted to
I was about to get to, I've got particularly 3 people that's like, hey, I have a question. Then they went and then they posted it. So
don't
yeah, literally got a text message saying, hey, James, when you're done talking, answer my question. I'm like, all right, you got it.
Okay. All right.
So, certified critic has a question here, man. I'm certified now, so they got.
Oh my gosh! Yeah, please answer your question.
I just wanted to know, you were kind of talking about how you wanted to pour more into a certain part of the story, and have you ever just ran into some source material that you just didn't agree with, or something you had your own idea for, you wanted to kind of go your way with it, but you had to stick to what was in front of you?
I have had to run into that before, especially with superheroes because I'm such a huge fan. Grew up DC Comics, absolutely a Batman fan, 100%. Granted, became a Superman fan as I got older. I couldn't appreciate Clark when I was young. But I grew into a Marvel fan, especially as I got into Marvel animation, but was always like 90s Spider-Man, 90s X-Men. Of course, watched those as a kid.
Right.
So when it got into as I was starting my job at Marvel, and then I've gotten the chance to work for DC on like Crisis on Infinite Earths and Legion of Superheroes and stuff. I always ask these, how hard do you want these superpowers to go? Because let
I
me
like
tell
that
you,
question.
Valid
it's
I
question.
not
like that.
consistent across the board. Like there's been stuff written in scripts that have asked, hey, actually this building needs to survive this moment because it's a story point later, so you can't smash this one. And I'm like, okay, so so where else am
Wow.
I going to put this? Like there's usually with foreshadowing in a script, you run into the issue of, well, I have to keep this, but sometimes it doesn't make sense why it's here, or it just shows up out of nowhere. So how am I going to see this foreshadowing as if it was always there? Because sometimes for the script, not every time they're actually having an imagined picture in their head as they're writing the script, because that's our job, is to make sure that that shows up. So how am I going to track this? Like having the Tesseract flying through the air, where does it land? How does Tony find it later? Does he pick it up? Does somebody else get it? Have run into those issues a lot before. So that's another like limitation, like I was talking about earlier, that you run into. Okay, I have to be mindful of this as we're going, but dang it, if it's not making this hard, not making
So
this
you have to
moment
mitigate
difficult.
loopholes,
Oh
Yeah,
gosh. Wow. Okay. Well, you know
plot holes.
what?
I'm sorry, you gotta live in
yeah,
little.
yeah.
You gotta mitigate those plot holes.
Mhm.
That's a lot to manage. As I
Yeah,
hear this, I feel the
I
stress.
imagine that being incredibly stressful.
Mhm.
Oh yeah.
It is. It's intense.
I'm saying. Okay. All
You
right.
get to be
So
creative though. You get to be ultra creative at that point.
Yes.
Yeah, because
Yeah,
some
you do.
shows
Again,
have
problem
just
solving.
ridiculous amount of plot holes.
oh
So
yeah.
Yeah.
Don't
it's
get me
just
started.
swim into a sea there.
Superheroes have that in spades.
Mhm.
Is plot holes. Why can he absorb the sun now? Okay, I guess. All right.
Because reasons.
Because
Because
reasons. It's
reasons.
always cause reasons. And you're like, all right.
Sound right. All right. So
Okay.
so I'm about to ask this. So let me go ahead and get, because I promise, like, I could do this all day. No Captain America, no funny like that. I really, really, especially when you say you like anime too. I'm like, hold up, now she's really cooking. Like, oh,
Yeah. OG Wolf's Rain. I love Cowboy Bebop,
Oh,
Inuyasha. Like,
Okay.
that's a
OG
throwback.
Gundam
Wolf's
Wing. Like,
Rain.
Was rain.
mm,
Was rain.
yeah,
Oh, that
Wolf's
was
Rain.
the
Look,
first
that was
one
one of
too.
the
Bald.
That's the
Bald
first
at
darkest.
one.
the end.
That was one of
Wolf's
the darkest
Whoa.
joints.
It
oh
was
yeah.
It
See?
was
was
like,
right
don't get.
here.
That's what I learned. Don't get attached to everybody.
Oh
Yeah.
Don't
man.
get attached to anybody.
Yeah, anybody can go. Anybody can go at
Everybody
any time.
know. All right, so
God.
let's jump into these. Let's jump into some of these comments. All right, so we got old man saying that's dope. I'm assuming he's talking about your starting journey for
Thank you.
sure. And he's back.
Thank you for that.
Thankfully, someone could cook. I love that.
Right. Okay, yeah, we got a legit one here. All right. Do you ever make your own characters? And if you would, you make show based around them.
Good question.
Yeah. I, especially with me wanting to be able to show run, I do have some several ideas of my own that I've been wanting to be able to feed into. But I have definitely personal ideas based off of existing IP or intellectual properties around town. One of them in particular that I've posted about before on Twitter when it was good, and on like Instagram and Tumblr and stuff, is a Witcher that I ended up creating after the third Witcher game came out. And then it was like in between the third Witcher game and the show coming out, there was like this huge thing of your Witcher Sona and all that stuff. And my Witcher's named Cleo, and it was me delving into the fascination with Zerrikania and a lot of the culture that we don't get to see yet in Witcher lore, that we don't get to explore yet because we're in the Northern Kingdoms all the time. But like, especially around the time I ended up creating her, there's a lot of other artists, amazing artists, that were creating female Witchers, and a lot of the fan base came up in uproar because girls can't be Witchers, and it's like, well, it's built some into the lore that it's a physical thing, sure, but it's also fiction, so why not? Like, why can't we do this and stuff? So I was like, you know what's really interesting is introducing also other cultures in the Witcher universe. So it was such a fun exercise trying to expand out a lore and a story that I love Geralt's Adventures. He's such a fun character. But with that, I'm like, but what extra history could we toss in here? What other interesting stuff can we follow from like the other Witcher schools and everything like that? Yeah. So all the time thinking about other characters and in current intellectual properties and my own personal stuff, thinking about them all the time.
Oh, right. Okay. That is fire. Like I'm just astonished. Like,
which is a low key series too, so it needs expansion. It needs some expansion.
It is ripe for it. It really, really is.
I mean, I would love to see some more stuff from it. Absolutely.
Me too. I mean, it's Witcher has at least a lot on the table. Yeah, I would say at least a lot on the table.
It's an interesting dark plot. It can, it goes into other dimensions and stuff. It's a lot that's has to do with The Witcher.
That's
Exactly. So they can. There's so much they can really do with that.
Mm-hmm.
That's true. Go to the next one. All right. By the way, this is the one that texts me like, hey, I'm the captain now. I'm like, all right, cool, I got you. so that's valid. So,
I take my comment back. Shout out to the Mad Genius. He showed
me. There you go. So, I mean, look, yes, the story is impressive. Like, there's nothing on my bingo card that told me that we were going to start off a conversation about a kitchen being on fire. this is where the things matter, right? Like some things just feel like destiny, and that's great, and I'm happy for you. And that sounds amazing. Okay.
Yeah, it's like those kinds of moments where you can't always, when you're living in the moment, you don't know it's going to be an opportunity for something greater later, but you just jump on it anyway. It's a sense of leaping into the unknown with both feet, of being like, I don't know where this is going to go, but I'm going to see it to the end, right?
Yeah, that's true. I mean, and that's a very underrated trait. Like, everybody's not going to be a trailblazer like that too, to just see that and just say, I'm gonna go for it. So I got to give you props for that. I mean, risk taking it matters, and look where you're at.
It's tough, but it pays off. I'm telling you.
See, there we go. Well, y'all heard it from her. You heard it from her, so you ain't hearing it from me. I got nothing to show for her. Just hey, look, y'all heard it. So, with that being said, lore matters. There's people adding last minute bad stuff.
The lore matters.
Yes. Okay, I'll show what everybody's saying. If we ready to go. Yeah, you never know what time it is. And that's true. I'm
gonna say stay ready so you ain't gotta get ready.
Stay ready so you won't get ready. That's it. So, with that being said, I know that we usually stretch for an hour. We was trying to aim for the 30-minute mark, but some of the stories got to be talked about. Our first official guest, we got to have fun with it.
Like they said, the lore matters. We had to hear about it.
We had to hear the lore. We had to hear the lore.
So for the people that watch, like I said, when it gets clipped up, look, all the information is in the description. Please go give her a follow. I don't, just, do you want to have any shout outs as well?
Drop your DeviantArt blog page.
Oh my gosh! I gotta. That's the website has become a certain level of suspect. I gotta clear it out. But yeah, I mean, like I'm Evie Enchantress on everything. EVI Enchantress. I'm on Instagram, Blue Sky. I still have stuff, cobwebs on Twitter, things like that. So you guys can find me anywhere. I'm always happy to answer animation questions and stuff like that. You guys can visit my website, jesscuffart.com, to see some of my stuff, to see examples of storyboards and things like that. But check out some cool shows I got to be part of with incredibly also have to shout out so many different storyboard artists and directors and designers and everybody that I'm grateful to have worked with on a ton of different shows, with everything from Black Panther's Quest to Gremlins to several shows, including and films including like Legion of Superheroes and Crisis on Infinite Earths and stuff. And
Nice.
recently the second season of Ianu over on Max. So
Hey,
You know what I'm saying? Talk that talk. You hear me?
it's all been amazing stuff to be on. I'm so grateful for the career that I've had, and I'm hoping for so many more years of being able to make really cool stuff for you guys. So
Dang. Well,
So, we all hoping to watch it. So
I was about to say, I don't think we have it better than
I
that.
say everything on that roster I've watched and enjoyed. So.
Oh, yeah, you know what? She the motion queen at this point.
Right,
Big
big
motion.
motion.
That's what it is. So, with that being said, thanks for everyone watching. Y'all have a good night. Hopefully, we can get Jess back on again because we didn't get through half of the stuff, especially this D&D things I'm seeing about this too. So, I mean, hopefully, we can have you back.
Yeah, we'll do part 2 for D&D.
Oh gosh, sounds good to me. All right, everyone, y'all have a good night. Thanks for watching. We'll see y'all Thursday for sports.
Take for
Take.
Take it easy, y'all.
Bye, y'all.